up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the MMC Ocular Max Stellarus Prominion, their version of a Star Convoy. So this was purchased from Toy Dojo. They do have these available, and it is shipping out right now, so you may be getting yours from your retailer or from Toy Dojo. Let's take a look at the original cartoon version of this guy, and we'll take a quick 360. It really is beautiful. Got that nice gold paint on the star here. You got the almost like commander stripes here, like the army. You got gold here, red here. These headlights would show up in the vehicle mode on the chest, which looks nice. Gold here on the knees. You have this tampo detail here on the knees, which looks good. I think it's a tampo. Might be a sticker, but either way, it looks good. I do have the issue with the legs sliding down. They are sending a kit, so if you have that issue, you can request a kit to be sent from your retailer. They are sending those separately, so if you need those knee fix kits, you have to request that. Going to the side, here's what you get. Pretty darn clean back here. The backpack all folds up and squares away here. Looks really good. So there's the head sculpt. You have that nice silver crest with the green in the middle, and then you got the blue traditional Optimus Prime type of eyes. The ears can move, so you can push them outwards like this. I believe that's more accurate, so we'll leave it like that. The head is really quite good looking. I like the look. It's very spot on with the cartoon. I also like these little details here on the side. So he does come with some accessories here. You do get a nice looking collector's card. I like the artwork on here. I believe this is Chugoking who does this artwork. Here's the back, his tech specs. He's got some really high numbers, and there's his modes there. That looks really good. The instructions on this guy are really nice. You also get that same artwork here, but they're really well done. Finally, I have good instructions from Ocular Max. Usually they don't. They usually rely on Pake's video manuals for instructions, but I'll say this time, maybe because it's simple, they have really good instructions. You also get, of course, his blaster. Really beautiful looking. You get that blue accent here and here. You have silver on the front, silver on the side, and then on the bottom. Very reminiscent of his G1 blaster, but obviously updated for the Star Convoy. And you can fit this in the hand just like a regular, any masterpiece. You got the tab, get that pushed in. It's very secure. You can close the fingers around, and then you can get the thumb around, and that looks really good. He's got a nice looking gun overall. All right, now let's go over Stellarus Prominion's articulation. So the head is on a ball joint, so you get down to there, up to there. You can also move this silver neck joint a little bit, so you can get him like forward a little bit too. So that's really nice for a big guy like this. You can look way down, and you can get the side to side. The ears do open and close like I showed before. I mean, you really get some great expression out of that head. These joints do rotate on this base, and then you can also open up the guns pretty wide. You can actually get them all the way out. I like to put them in a little V. I think that looks the closest to the cartoon, and it just also looks nice on his shoulders. You do get a shoulder joint here on 3 ratchets up to there. You can also rotate here at the inside of the arm, so you can get some nice movement out of that shoulder joint. Rotation around on a really strong ratchet. You have a rotation at the bicep. You have a double jointed elbow, gets you all the way up to there. It is for transformation, but it also works here for a really nice joint. And they have the cover down piece back here. I love when they do stuff like that. Attention to detail, and it looks nice as you're articulating. Big, chunky, beefy arms. Looks great. I'll talk about this in a second. You do have a rotation here at the waist. So all the way around, nice and free movement there. You do have an ab crunch here, so let me just get this out of the way. It gets up to there, and it kind of locks in place. You kind of have to push these back in. So there's sort of like 3 clicks. So this is all the way down. That's one click, 2 clicks, 3 clicks. On the 3rd click, it locks. So you got to push those back in. But that's a nice little mechanism there. I like that they can do that. So that allows you to do some, hip crotch thrust type of poses, if that's what you want to do. There you go. Get him sort of angled forward on the crotch. The knees are definitely an issue here. So because the spring is missing, there is a kit that you can get and just contact your retailer. Toy Dojo is already sending these to me, but unfortunately it slides down a little bit too easily. So they're sending you a new spring to keep them in. But you do get a nice double jointed knee here that gets all the way up to there. Love to see that on a big figure like this. But that does kind of fall on its own, so you just have to watch that. You can do hip skirts here. The legs rotate all the way up to there on a nice strong ratchet. Back to there, a little bit hindered on this back panel here. And out to the side also on a nice strong ratchet. I showed you the knee, double jointed knee. There is a little space here to allow for additional articulation. That's smart of them to do that. I'm glad they did that. You have an ankle tilt. Beautiful. And a cover down piece, or like an internal piece that prevents the sculpt from breaking. You get a toe tilt here. Let's see. Do we get a forward and backward? Yeah, you do get a forward and backward. Yeah, so you can pull this foot just down ever so slightly, and then you get a little bit of forward and backward there on that. So some nice movement, and a toe and heel tilt as well. And for size comparison, there is Stellarus Prominion next to the Iron Trans Star Saber. Now these aren't from necessarily the same show, but I figured I'd show it with a similar type of character. They're almost exactly the same size. The Stellarus is a little bit taller by the ears, but they're almost exactly the same size. And then for another comparison, just since people may not have this figure, here is MP44. You can see it comes up to basically his waist, maybe a little past his waist. So there you go for a scale size comparison. All right, now let's get Stellarus Prominion transformed into his vehicle mode. Just wanted to show before I do that, you can plug the gun back here if you want to. That is where it's going to go in the vehicle mode, but it doesn't really do much. Or you can have it down like this. This is a storage option. All right, so now let's get him transformed. We'll start with the arms here. Go ahead and open up these panels. Fold the hands in. Make sure you have the fingers folded up like this. Basically, compressed down into that shape. And then close that up. Rotate the hand to the side. And then you're going to take these and they're going to fold up. Close up this gun. And there's a tab right here that's going to fit into the slot right there. So get that pegged in. Same on this side. Open this up. Flip the hand in. Close the panel. Rotate this. Close up the guns. Flip this up and get it pegged into the side. Right, now that we do that, we can push these arms up just up to there. Next, go to the back here. Open up these panels here, and that's why we need to put the arms up so you can get this cleared. I could probably get it a little bit higher, but decided to. There you go. Then come to the back and open up this panel here. With these arms out of the way, you should be able to get it all the way up to there. Pull these out, and those are going to sit out here for now. And if you need a little room, you can rotate this up a little bit more. And these are just going to sit here for now. Come back to the front here, open up this panel here. This head has to go inside here. Now it is a little tricky because the width, you can see it's wider than this. So you have to kind of do a pinball, right? One side in, next side in, one side in, next side in. Make sure you've collapsed these ears down. So follow that pattern. So left side, and then right side, left side, and then right side, and you can get the whole head in without really scratching it up. It does touch, so you got to be careful there. But if you do that pattern, it should go in easier. All right, close that back up. Come to the back here. You're going to rotate this down. Rotate these guns to the front. Rotate these arms to the side. You're going to bring these together. And you can see there's two tabs, one here and one here. They're going to fit together. This is a very tight fit, so just you're gonna have to give it a nice squeeze, otherwise it's not gonna go. At least on my copy anyway. Very, very tight. Go ahead and pull this out. It's gonna rotate down and peg in down right here. So get that pegged in. And you do have to pull it out a little bit in order for it to properly go. It does tab in very, very nice and secure. Same on this side. Rotate that down and peg that in. And you can see our front's looking pretty good. Go ahead and extend this piece here. Open up these, and that'll give you enough space to open this up. Just move them to the side. But if you open these up first, probably a better time. So open those up. Open up these panels here. And you should have something like this. Fold this panel backwards. And then you're going to get this one kind of accordion down and under, or sorry, over the top of this. So make sure you have it configured like that. Same on this side. Open up this panel and then make sure you have this configured over the top of that. Next we'll take care of the waist and the leg joints here. So go ahead and come to the back here. Make sure you have these panels folded up. And you're going to rotate the waist 180 degrees. Come down to the feet. You're going to push these downwards. And then you're going to peg them into the back here. So these heels just peg into the back of the legs. And then you're going to peg these two together. There's two tabs here on the inside, so just get those in and leave that there for now. Actually, you can take these out and just leave them out like this, and we're going to take care of that in just a minute. All right, next we'll take care of these panels here. So go ahead and push these in. They're going to tab into the top here. It is a little tough to get that in perfectly, so just make sure you get that in before you continue. So you want to make sure it's flush like that. So you can see it's squared off there. Now you're going to take this panel and close this down, and that's going to tab in to these two red panels, or red tabs here and here. Come to the other side, same thing. If these get lifted up, just make sure they peg back in on the bottom. Same on this side, get that tabbed in. I do find these to be a little bit tricky. You got to get the angle just perfectly right for it to end up going in. There we go. So now you got the nice flat edge. And then go ahead and take this, and this is going to fold down and tab it into these red tabs here. So next, make sure these hip skirts are closed up and the ab crunch is closed all the way down. It is a little bit difficult because sometimes the ab crunch opens up from the weight, so you just want to hold it. Close these down, make sure you have these panels all the way up, and then fold this down and tab it in. And it can be a little bit tricky, but get that tabbed in. Right. Same on this side. Get this folded in and then tab this down and in. Now that we have that all squared here, we're going to take these legs, and these are going to push down and into those panels. Don't force it really fast, just go slow. And you can see there's a little slot between these gold pieces, and that's where this panel is going to end up fitting. And if you don't have it in there, make sure you put it there. There we go. Now we're going to come to the side here, and these are going to tab in to the sides of the legs. And make sure you have it collapsed all the way down. Same on this side. Make sure you have it collapsed into the side of the leg. Like so. Take these panels, these are going to fold downwards and tab into there. And you can support it from the back just so you know it's not going to put stress on that part. To this side, do the same thing. All right, let's see. Looks like this panel popped out. All right, there we go. And then get this one tabbed in as well. And that's going to sit just like that. And then the final piece, take this tab. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 slots for it to fit in. And you just got to get that lined up and then pushed in. Right? So go ahead and check all your little tabs. Make sure you got everything tabbed in. And there is Stellarus Prominion in the truck mode. Really cool looking. I did want to mention there is a tab here on the inside of the blue piece. So when you push this track in, it's going to tab in here and onto the side of the silver. So it's really should be secure. Everything locks in place and should be, you know, secure. So you can also push these up to have it against here, or you can leave them flat like this. What do you prefer? I like to have them in. I think they're just a little better. There's a little silver back here. I think that's for the look. Because otherwise those have no purpose there. So I think it's just to continue that silver look here. Here's the side. You do have that very iconic blue stripe down the side. It does roll. The back wheels are plastic rollers. The front wheels are rubber tires. Oops, I have a tire off. That's why it wasn't rolling. There you go. Rolls very nice and smooth. Really nice. You can still pose these on front. And in fact, I would recommend you do that because that's going to make it look even cooler. Of course, you're going to take the gun here. And that's going to peg in to here. And then you rotate that to the front. You can see there's a little tiny tab for it to sit, or a little slot there. But you can also rotate it and it can be a cannon. I love that. That's just such a good use of the gun. So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guns to battle the bad guys. And I think this looks really nice. Getting on the details here, you do have the yellow fog lights, headlights here, translucent blue for the windows. These tracks are rubber. They don't roll, but I love, it's a good idea to have the rubber tracks for the look and the feel, but then have the wheels on the bottom so you don't end up with tracks that don't roll. I have other figures that have that and they just don't work well. So this is a good way to do it. And for size comparison, that is next to the MP10 with the trailer. You can see it's a little bit shorter. It is wider just due to the design. It is a little bit shorter in length as well. You can see if I line them up, it comes up to about, well, let's see, you can't really see that. So you have that much extra trailer. So sized well with the Masterpiece Collection in terms of the truck mode. I like the way this looks. So final thoughts on Stellarus Prominion. Let's start with the positives. I think it looks really cool in the robot mode and the vehicle mode. I like the weapons that you get, all these, the cannons as well as the gun. All that looks really nice and works well for this figure. I also like the overall level of articulation for a figure of this size. Usually you don't get that much. This one definitely has a good amount of articulation. Negatives wise, I do find that these are definitely an issue as you're posing it. It's very unstable because of those knees that just pop in. Now, fortunately, Toy Dojo is sending me that part. You just have to request that from your retailer because MMC is sending those parts to the retailers so they can provide that to you. But it may be getting shipped separately. If you are in the first batch of shipments, you might need to request it. Otherwise, they might send it with your figure and you can install those. That is an unfortunate thing. You shouldn't have to do that, but I'm going to install those in order to make this a little more stable because this is just an annoyance. The feet are also made of a kind of a slippery plastic that does end up making him a little bit unstable on my surface here. Although on the shelf it's probably going to be just fine, but here it does feel a little bit unstable. I also think that the gray plastic, they shouldn't have used swirly gray plastic. They should have used something, you know, painted or just a different color. I never like swirly gray plastic on any figure, this one included. But overall, I really enjoy this figure. I'm definitely keeping it in my collection. I think it's a fun Optimus Prime. It looks nice. It's big and intimidating, and it fits well with my Star Saber figure. And it's going to look good on that shelf with that kind of styling of figures. So that's really it for today. You can pick this up from Toy Dojo if you're interested. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.